So that leads us to the point of me speaking, I think, which is to try and consolidate what personal sadhana actually is. What is it? Well, you have to have a spiritual practice. And I have said many times that the superior spiritual practice is meditation. So I'm not going to speak about the other practices, just meditation. So an individual needs to have in their life the tapas element of sadhana, which is meditation. The way you approach meditation is as has been instructed here, and as you can read about, and as you have experience, and as many people are well established in. That is the meditation that we know, the vichara. So to sit and apply that tapas is important. When the tapas is not happening, when you're not meditating, then to think about it is correct. To think about it is right. Because as I've also said, knowledge, to have understanding, is critical. If you don't have knowledge, you'll have experiences that have no ground, and you won't have a place on which to have confidence about the situation. There will be no ground, and the persistent ignorance which runs the minds of people will not move. So you'll be confused, but meditating. So alongside the meditation, it's critical to think. You have to think. You have to see through the tool of mentality so that there's a confidence of knowing. So how do you do that? Talk to people. Talk to your teacher. Read the text. Think about it. Study. I can't remember the Sanskrit word. Swayadaya or something. I've forgotten it. But it's a principal instruction. Study. The sadhak did you say? Well done. The sadhak must study. If the sadhak only studies and doesn't meditate, it's hopeless. You become a clever mind who can recite things, who can run workshops and speak to the theory. It's inadequate for sadhana. If you're a philosopher earning your money from giving workshops, then it's fine. But for the sadhak, for sadhana, which is what we're talking about, the knowledge is critical and the meditation is critical. They're the two elements. Then, as well as the knowledge, awareness. Awareness all the time. Awareness in the world. Because if the knowledge is speaking about reality, then as you go about the place is the place where you test out the reality. So you are told through the knowledge that constantly things are being experienced. There's an experiencing power. Therefore, when you're walking around the shops, choosing which tin of peas to select, when that's happening, the witnessing power obviously must still be there. You're not meditating, you're not reading a spiritual text, but you're picking a tin of peas off the shelf, and as you're doing that, that experiencer is constant. So to know that, to be interested in viewing it like that, is fascinating, exciting, and embeds the knowledge in your experience because it's perceived. I am experiencing choosing peas. Now, I do not mean in any way that this is some brain-cooking insanity where you're going around the shops, confused about what's happening. I'm talking about a mature, continuous awareness about the fabric of life. And there are a number of details about the common human experience which are unseen by people, such as the one I've just described. Everything's being experienced. It's a detail of common human experience which is not seen. So the sadhak looks at this and sees it and lives with it and learns it and experiences it and therefore gains confidence about it and feels conviction about it. So the conviction supports the knowledge, and the conviction and the knowledge allows the meditation to be more sophisticated and more apparent. I believe, I'm working on this, and I'm going to finish it soon. I believe there are about a dozen lines. I was going to say lines of code. Lines of understanding, a dozen elements, such as everything's being experienced, is an example, that really point into the literal reality of the ordinary moment and reveal much through its study. So you see, the ordinary day in your work and your life and everything that happens and going on holiday and relating to people and so forth, all the elements are a fabric. They're not outside of sadhana. They are a fabric of living which, when viewed from a position of awareness, reveal what we call truth. So you read the Upanishad, it says this and that in symbolic language. You perhaps can isolate the symbolic language into a real strand. That's the word I was looking for. Strand, 12 strands. And as you live your day, those strands are prominent in your mind, and you view the day from that position, and you see its reality, and you see its truth. So no longer is it a theory on the page. You see, why? This is obvious. It's obvious. For example, everything's being experienced. It's obvious. It's obvious when I say it and you think about it, but it's very deep. It's very, very, very deep. And if you explore the world, your ordinary moments, from that position, then you see how deep it is. It's wow deep. It's wow deep. So that's the awareness. And then finally, there is action. No, not finally. Something to say after that. Prior to the finding, there is action. Service. Work. Being part of things. Doing stuff. Giving. Contributing to society. Trying to be effective. Doing your best. Rather than avoiding. So to be out and about, whatever it is, you don't have to be out and about. You could be in your house doing oil paintings. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be out and about. But to be engaged and to serve and to use the assets of humanity to work is absolutely sadhana. And then finally, there's the puja. The puja. Now, when you're in a situation like this, we can do the puja that we've done. We can chant the mantras. This morning you heard the Rudram. We can have that configuration of experience. But out on your own, out and about, in your house and in your life, what is your puja? What could it be? Giving thanks for the trees when you walk around in nature is puja. Noticing the trees. Wow, thank you, beautiful, I'm grateful for the tree is puja. Having eyes open sufficiently to see the incredible beauty and staggering majesty of everything, not just trees, but tins of peas on the shelf is amazing. So that is puja, the wonder of the experience of the world is puja. But then there is the ritual of puja, which can be dead simple, Chanting Om is a puja. Lighting an incense stick and just having 2 minutes peace, is puja. Learning a simple mantra and repeating it is puja. Some elements of devotional recognition of the wonder is what's meant by puja. And as we were saying last night, the bhakti is vital. Caroline said it. She's right. The bhakti is vital. And little bits of puja allow that bhakti, allow that current of the heart to play. And the playing of that current alongside the awareness and alongside the work is the blending of the blended state, which is sadhana. So I've listed 4 things. Your spiritual practice itself. Thinking about it. Not while you're meditating. Not then. But when you're not meditating. Thinking about it. Gaining understanding is the second element. Awareness as we go about the world. Strands of awareness. Seeing the truth displayed in ordinary circumstance is the third element. Service. Doing stuff. Being engaged. Trying to serve is the fourth element. And puja. That would be my definition of what sadhana actually is in the real world. Now, obviously, whilst that's going on, there's a million problems. There is for everyone in humanity. Obviously, there's high days and low days, good days and tough days. Themes of mood or circumstance or activity which are troubling, which may last 2 minutes or may last for 12 years. Everyone in the world experiences these things. Inner pressures of mind, confusion of emotion, freedoms, pleasures, joys, pains, depressions, elations. These are the common human experience and happen inside every single psyche in the world. Through sadhana, stability rises and chaos recedes. But you are still a responsive instrument. However grand your state, there is still a chemistry here. And if someone comes and screams in your face, there'll be a reaction in chemistry. So there is a body, there is chemistry, there is a psyche, there is a configuration of personality and character, and these things are your travelling companion as you pass through this 90 years. We worked out at the last meeting we had how many days that is. Do you know how many days you live for? I've worked it out. It's great. This is assuming 90 years. Around about 35,000 days-ish. 35,000 days you've got in this plane beneath heaven. So, and all those days are going to be rich and full with experiences. They can also be drenched with sadhana in the way I've described it. Drenched with sadhana.